How are you?
Doing well.
When were you first made aware of Bears' interest, and what was the process like?
Oh, man, I mean, the free agency process is definitely, something that you got to be patient about. But I've been kind of, in the back seat, letting my agent handle everything. And, I just been kind of getting updates from him and, really not so much just on this situation, but just kind of letting him handle everything. And, I was kind of out of it. So, once they told me, as this week started going along, it was like that. But as far as the whole process, I was letting my agent handle everything.
What was it about the Bears that made you want to come here?
I think it's just a great tradition. I mean, when you talk about great linebackers, and particularly middle linebackers, I mean, why wouldn't you want to come to a place like this, man? It's such great tradition. And, man, I'm just excited to write my own story now. Obviously it had a lot of great guys that come through here. And I'm a big believer, man, you got to pay respect to those guys that came before you because that's what we striving to be like. Not exactly imitate their game, but take a little bit from everybody and put it into your own game. And that's what I'm about, man. And, I'm excited to start my story now. You know what I mean? And, I think, Buffalo for all my years there, but I'm excited to start my story here in Chicago now and, continue that great tradition of middle linebackers here.
Have they told you you'll be mostly in the middle?
Yeah, we didn't really get too much, into the scheme and the defense like that. I've been taking everything in, man, one step at a time. But, wherever they put me at, man, I'm going to go out there and ball. You know what I mean? I think just a tradition, just linebackers in general. I mean, you got Briggs, you got a lot of linebackers that came through here that even if they wasn't in the middle, they was great linebackers. But, wherever they put me at, man, I'm going to be that person. I'm going to give it everything I got, man, leave it all on the field and, continue that tradition for sure.
Visit here before the draft when you were...
I did, man. It looked a lot different from how it looks now, man. The building is beautiful, you know what I mean? I just been walking around just enjoying it and looking at all the tradition and looking at all the legends that came through here, and I mean true legends. And, man, it's just been breathtaking and, it's definitely been amazing, man, just to see it all. It just motivates you even more, man. I'm ready to get to work.
Interesting for you to reflect on coming here 5 years
Yeah, it is. I was like, man, I remember some things, but it's changed so much, and they did a great job in here, man. I mean, anything you want as a player, like I've seen it, like it's here, and I mean that's refreshing and that's motivational, and that's why players want to come here. You know what I mean? And I think that's just builds on the tradition, that builds on the culture, and I mean as a player you couldn't ask for anything more.
Is it bittersweet at all, like that? You leave Buffalo where things were very successful and you don't get a deal there, so you come here. Is it tough at all in that regard?
I mean, Buffalo has been my home for the last 5 years. I can't thank them enough for just giving me my first opportunity, just to display my talents in the NFL. But, you look too far back, man, you're going to trip going forward. And, I'm focused on what's in front of me and leading this football team, to get to the level that the city and that, that we want to be as a team. And that starts with me. That starts with the Mike linebacker. That starts with the man in the middle. So, I'm just looking forward to that opportunity, that challenge. And, I got my hard hat on, ready to work.
What part of your game do you take the most pride in?
Effort, because that's something that you can't teach. We talk about talent, all the guys' talent in the league. But when you talk about effort, you talk about relentlessness, and you talk about guys that just care. You know what I mean? Guys that finish plays, guys that give it his all. I think when you turn the film on, you can tell that from guys. And it's more than just effort because, it's more than just talent because in this league, man, talent only gets you to a certain point. You got to figure out what sets yourself apart, man, and I'm going to give it my all each and every time I step foot on that field. That's how I was raised. That's my identity, and that's who I am as a player.
You played a lot of football.
What pride do you take in leadership? I think you were voted a captain at like 21 years old.
Yeah, I take big pride in that, man. Just, because that's something that your teammates vote on. That's something that the people around you that you go to war with every day vote on you to be that guy. And, man, I take that to a high regard just because, man, that's something that's not just handed to you. You got to work for it. You got to earn that. And that's what I plan to do, man. I don't want anything given to me, man. I've been working all my life. That's me. Anybody that knows me, man, from day one, I've been a hard worker. So it's not about giving nobody anything. I think when you have that C on your chest, man, it comes great responsibility. It comes great, when you point a finger at somebody, man, you're going to have a million fingers getting pointed back at you. So when you have that C on your chest, man, it's something that I take, to a high regard and, something I don't take lightly at all.
Have you ever talked to Leslie Frazier about the organization and what it meant to him?
Briefly, I had the pleasure of, being coached by a Bears legend himself, Coach Frazier, and, he would always give us some stories about it and, just about the tradition and, obviously they had that good team here and, the great things that they did and, hats off to Coach Frazier, man. He's a great guy and I appreciate him definitely for these last 5 years.
You mentioned know that you don't know exactly where we're gonna play it, but is it fair to say that that's where you'd be most comfortable in this?
You know, like I said, we haven't talked much scheme-wise. You know, whatever. As soon as it's over, I'll probably get straight into it. But, you know, wherever they put me at, man, you know, I'm excited to go to work. You know, you got a lot of good guys here. You know, Eddie's on the back end. You know, obviously a guy that's real well respected in the organization. Excited to get to work with him. Obviously, you know, TJ just signed him. Excited to get to work with him. And, man, it's a lot of other guys, man. I'm just excited to be around the guys, man, get to know everybody, and just ready to get to work.
You talk about some of the guys behind you, and you just talked about the guy next to you. How important is it for a middle linebacker, especially to have the guys that are in front of you, and how does that impact your game personally?
Right, man. It's 11 people on the field. You know what I mean? It's not a one-person game. You got to be able to have that connection and develop that culture, man. And I think more so on the field, you develop that culture off the field, just getting around each other and understanding what it takes to win. And, you know, a lot of people look at it as it's just on the field, man. But I'm a big believer in you got to do some things off the field. Maybe if it's just going out to eat or anything like that. So just as far as getting around the guys, and like I said, Eddie, man, he's been around. I've been a big fan of him for a while. TJ been a big fan of him for a while, just watching them and the success that they had around the league. So just coming in, man, and being able to build with those guys to develop something special, man, is something I'm definitely looking forward to.
You've played a lot of football, and you're not even 25 years old yet. Like, where are you on your career trajectory? Do you feel like an older player, even though you're still kind of young in this?
I feel pretty young, I would say. But, I mean, I feel like I'm just getting started, to be honest. Like, I'm still young, and I definitely feel young, you know what I mean? And I'm excited because, you know, I'm learning so much, and I'm meeting new guys, and, you know, my game is just developing so much. So, you know, I'm just looking forward to what's in store. And, you know, definitely getting around the guys, and I'm ready to go to work for sure.
You had an opportunity to play against Justin Fields last season. What stood out about that matchup, and how excited are you to play with him?
Yeah, I think if you pull up his stats, man, I think it speaks for itself. You know, obviously a guy that presents challenges in different ways, whether he's running the ball or throwing the football. You know, I know obviously when we was preparing for him, we was like, man, you know, we got to make sure we bring it, you know, this week. But, you know, definitely a guy that I'm excited to play with. You know, obviously that goes into the decision of making that decision to come here. And, you know, I'm excited to, you know, just be around him. And, you know, I know the offensive side, they're going to do their thing. They're going to handle their job. And, you know, I'm excited to, you know, just to being able to build, you know, particularly on the defensive side. And, you know, I'm excited to get to work with him.
It looks like over the last season, maybe the season before that, your game really reached a new level. Is there anything in particular that Clint did for you recently to help you reach that new level?
Man, I think it's just keep going, man. You know, I never got comfortable. I never got too up. I never got too down. You know, I think everything that I've been through, you know, whether if it's good or whether it's bad, I've learned from it. And I think when you can look yourself in the mirror and you know and be honest with yourself, I mean, that's the great teacher. You know what I mean? I think, you know, experience is a great teacher, and, you know, things that I've been through, whether I didn't always agree with it or whether it was some things that was great, I've always learned from everything, man, and I'm gonna continue to learn. You know, that's part of my game, and that's part of what I put into this, because it's a whole lot of hours that go into this, man, and you don't just get somewhere overnight. It's like a journey, man, and I'm just picking up little pebbles on the way and adding it to my game, and each step of the way, man, I'm gonna continue to do that.
Besides money, what was Ryan Poole's biggest selling point that convinced you to sign with the Bears?
You know, I think it goes outside of that, man. Like I said, it goes into tradition. It goes into the players that you have here. It goes into culture. It goes into building something big. Like, it's more than just money, because relationships, man, goes way further than any piece of paper could give you. And I'm a big guy that's off relationships, man. I'm a big family guy. I got my family here today, and that should tell you a whole lot about it. So it's more than just about money for me, man. It's about relationships. It's about building something special. It's about building, you know, a culture and definitely building that here brick by brick.
How about scheme, though? They're very insistent about getting scheme-specific players. Do you know enough about it to know that that's a factor?
I mean, it's definitely a factor. I mean, when you look at some of the guys that, you know, in particular, you know, the head coach and, you know, that they had and that they developed, I mean, why wouldn't you want to be a part of something like that? You know, I'm trying to be great, and I want to be coached by people that coach great players and coach good players. And I obviously want to be in a system and a program that's had legends, you know what I mean, that Chicago Bears is known for their linebackers. And, you know, I want to, you know, be able to write my story and, you know, be that next great linebacker here.
Thank you. Thanks, Jermaine. TJ, since Monday, what's this week been like for you? It feels like the enthusiasm you had for going home and joining this organization has been pretty high.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, man. I think,
just going through the whole process and everything like that, and just trying to be in the moment of everything. And then obviously, once that phone rang here, it's it's special for sure. And just wanting to be a part of something that's going on here, something that you can tell is on the up and up. And man, it's exciting. You can feel the buzz for sure.
When did you get the official word Monday as things were developing?
I honestly don't even remember. It was literally like I couldn't even tell you. Like it's been so crazy, man. But finally, like getting that call from my agent first, just to hear, and then hearing everything going on, it was a dream, man, for sure.
DJ, when you were here in December with the Eagles,
Yeah.
what sense did you get for where this team was at? Obviously, they were in a long losing streak, and you won the game. But just where'd you get the sense for where they're at, and what? I mean, you pay attention to the Bears, so
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely always followed to see what was going on, just out of habit. But, obviously when we came and played here, it was a really tough team, man. I mean, it was, a game that was all the way to the end. And obviously I can speak more from the defensive side going against the offense. Just a lot of weapons, and trying to contain Fields was a big part of what we were trying to do. And, you kind of saw what happened on one of the plays there where he got loose. So he's definitely a special player for sure. And you can tell just by the way that the game was going that it was no quit at all. And that's definitely something that I wanted to be a part of for sure.
As someone who grew up a Bears fan, can you appreciate that Justin has a chance to do something special at quarterback, and that hasn't always been the case around here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously growing up a Bears fan, I understand, everything and all that and how it goes in the past. But I think the biggest thing, is just trying to be in the now and just trying to, build what's here and work with, for me, just building the chemistry with those guys. And but yeah, man, I think just all the weapons he has and the things he can do with his legs and his arm, and the guys up front, and obviously just how the team is ran, and I'm starting to learn that more and more as I'm talking to people now. But it just feels like it's going in the right direction, so it's exciting.
As someone who followed them out of habit,
Mm-hmm.
do you remember noticing Justin when they first played him, or anything like that?
I said this kind of after the game. I think one of the bigger things was I knew he was fast for sure, just from what he can do. I knew he had a strong arm, but I didn't realize he was he's a big dude, man. That's no small quarterback back there. So I think just how strong he is and the way he can maneuver and make the right decisions is big time for sure.
What's your earliest Bears childhood memory from growing up here?
I mean, there's so many. I think I met Urlacher in his rookie year at like a meet and greet or something like that, and that was that was special for me and my friends. And then Devin Hester, that first kick return in the Super Bowl will always stick out to me. But there's so many. I've been in a couple games, been in a couple family nights and things like that growing up, and been in the stands a lot at Soldier. So it's pretty special for sure.
What does it mean to be a Bears linebacker and that history?
Yeah, I know quite a bit about the history and all the great players that have been here before. So many great linebackers that have played of late and of recent as well. So, but for me, I just want to come in and be me. I want to come in and kind of figure out where I fit in and just try to help as much as I can and learn as much as I can. I think it's a lot of guys who've played a lot of good football here, and they understand how the game's supposed to look. So just getting with them and just trying to figure out how I fit. But I definitely just want to be me for sure.
What do you know about Jermaine, and how do you think you can work together with him to succeed as a duo?
Yeah, just met him today. Seems like an awesome guy, man. He seems like a really good dude, and that was kind of the first thing that I could kind of feel in this building is the people in here are just good people, and I think that's big time when you're trying to build a strong team. Is just having people that care about each other. People that want to work hard. They're selfless, and you can definitely get that feeling from here. But definitely just being a linebacker, I could feel I could see his game all across the tape and just see the things that he does. Man, he's a really good player, and again, I'm excited to work with him. I'm excited to learn from him. Excited to see how we kind of fit together and things like that. But yeah, man, saw my guy Sanborn earlier too, so it's exciting. Yeah.
Has it been clear to you guys how they intend to use you guys in terms of Mike, Will? Do you have a preference, and how comfortable are you at each?
Yeah, we haven't talked about any of those things yet. And really, today it was just kind of about meeting everyone and getting to know everyone as best we can in this short amount of time here. But no, for me, I don't really have a true preference. I think wherever those coaches see me fit, that's my job to make that role work. And again, I think I can kind of do both. And again, you trust those guys. That's why I came here. I believed in what they were doing, and yeah, that's my job to follow for sure.
What did you learn about the Super Bowl run that you can apply in a new place?
Yeah, I learned this a long year for sure. One thing that helped us a lot in Philly was, again, we were a connected team. We were a team that did a lot off the field together, and that was really the reason when you go through moments of adversity, that's what helps a lot, when we can lean on a guy and you have a good relationship with a guy to where it's not, if something goes wrong in the field, you can go talk to them, and it's not an insult. It's just getting things right so that you can continue to move forward. And that was something that I took away with that. It's just that the team chemistry has to be on the forefront for sure. And you also need great leaders. You need guys who understand kind of how the place is ran, which we have here, and you need guys who you need your leaders to work the hardest, and that was big time for us, something that I definitely took away from that for sure.
You played with the best defensive line in the NFL last year, and that 8-man rotation was also a part of that. How does that make your job in the middle part of the defense easier?
Yeah, I mean, again, in Philly, I feel that, I've been with a similar unit for quite some long time now, and so honestly, that chemistry of understanding how the D-line plays is big. That helps make my job a lot easier. Again, man, I think D-line is such an unselfish position in this league. There's so many things that are asked of them in terms of, holding the alignment so they can't get to the second level, making sure they're in their gap, making sure they can win on pass rush. So for me, it's just getting in here and understanding how each guy kind of, fits so that I can play off of them. And yeah, but I'm excited. I really am. I feel I've learned a lot from being with that D-line group and that defense as a whole, and I feel that I can bring some of those things here for sure.
TJ, how well did you get to know Ian Cunningham when you were in Philly, and how much do you think that played a role in the Bears coming after you?
Ian was, honestly, I think one of the first people that I met in Philly, first people that I've talked to in Philly, and from day one. I mean, when I was undrafted dude, not playing much, he was just always in my ear telling me, he can see it and just keep working. And it was really at times like that meant the most. And he's always been really good for me, really good to me, and that means the world, man. And just talking to him actually a little earlier before I got in here, it was awesome to see him. He's always had my back. But for me, a guy that vouches for you, it's your job to come in here and perform, make him right. So I'm excited about that.
How did you get from draft weekend a few years back to where you are now?
What's that climb been like for you to go from there to here?
Yeah, honestly, I think I was raised away into where you have to earn every single thing you get. Nothing's given in this world, and that's on the football field and in life. That the one thing that's undefeated is hard work. As cliche as it sounds, getting up every day, putting 2 feet on the ground and getting to the task that you need to do is what's really helped me. And I think, that draft weekend was a long weekend, but for me, all it did was just help burn that hunger into my head, man. It'll never go away. It's something that I'm always chasing, something that, I always want to be the best, and it's my job to get up every day and find something new to be, to work at, and find something new to challenge myself with, and so that I can continue to be better and better. And again, I don't think I'm anywhere near the football player I can be, so I'm excited.
Last one.
What have your conversations been like with Ryan Poles and Coach Eberflus about what they think you can achieve and do for this defense?
Yeah, just met Coach Flus, and then just talked to Ryan a little earlier as well. Again, I was just thankful for the opportunity of bringing me here, and that they saw that in me, and I think we'll get more into those conversations. But they were just telling me how much I can bring to this team, and again, for me, I just want to find where I fit, find where I can help, and also learn as much as I can. Again, just grateful to be here. I mean, it's a special moment for me and my family, and parents were all in tears and all that when I got the call and all that. So it's special. Now it's my job to make the most out of it for sure.
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate you guys.
Nate, what excites you most about Chicago?
Just being a part of a young, upcoming team like this. Great city, great fans. It's just exciting overall.
Sure, you're comfortable on both sides, but which do you prefer, left or right?
Whatever the coaches want me to do. It really don't matter to me.
What's the appeal of Justin Fields being here?
There's so much. The man is young, he's smart, he's talented. He obviously is a leader. Anybody, that's somebody you want to block for sure.
I know that money is important in the free agent market, but do you consider paying this quarterback?
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, Justin Fields, he checks all his boxes with me.
How much experience do you have on the left side if they ask you to play over there?
You know, I used to play a little bit in college, but you know, my previous team only asked me to play right side, so that's why I played.
Obviously, at Tennessee, they ask you to run block a whole lot with Derrick Henry. Did it play any factor knowing that the Bears are also a team that likes to run the football a lot?
I mean, yeah, 100%. You know, at the end of the day, I just felt like it was a good fit for me.
That year, that 2020 season when he had over 2,000 rushing yards, like to be part of that, I know that's like an accomplishment for him, but as an offensive lineman, you kind of take pride in like, I helped him get there.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that we would talk about all the time in the O-line room. You know, he was just such a good person. We wanted to do everything we possibly could to help him achieve those type of things. And to say that we were part of that season, that means a lot.
Ryan Holt said that they're gonna, put the best 5 offensive linemen out there, and there's gonna be competition. Do you feel like right now you're one of the best 5?
I mean, personally, I'm going to say, you know, I'm going to believe myself. I have confidence in myself and my play. But at the end of the day, you know, it's up to the coaches what they choose.
For very fans that aren't really familiar with you, what type of player would you say that they're getting, and also what type of person?
Who am I? I'm a great teammate. First of all, I'm smart, tough. You know, I bring physicality, a little bit of speed too. You know, just somebody who's gonna just be there, be tough, be willing to do anything they ask.
There's so many nuances to offensive line play, including working with teammates and, you know, chemistry. So, like, is it daunting at all? Is there any uncertainty when an offensive lineman changes teams? Of, you know, how will this work out? How will I fit in? Or is it just kind of plug and play like other positions?
I mean, the thing about this team is the players here. It's such already a close group. I've already met a couple just walking around the building. I knew a couple from past teams too, so I'm not really too worried about that.
What gave you the impression that this was already like a really tight-knit group that you were joining?
As soon as I walked through the doors today, you know, just walking through, seeing everyone, you know, walking up to you, hey, my name is so-and-so, you know, we're happy to have you here. And like I said, it just felt like it was a great fit from the get-go.
What do you like about the Bears' scheme? They like to get you guys moving laterally quite a bit.
Just the physicality they play with. That's the biggest thing I liked about it. Just a close-knit group who plays tough, who's very selfless, and that's just what I love about it.
Coach Gussie has said before that there's a huge emphasis on offensive guards in his system. What do you know about that, and what do you find challenging, or what do you look forward to?
I mean, I look forward to the challenge, of course. You know, being a part of that. I feel like I said, I bring a lot to this game. I could bring a lot to this team, and that's the reason why I feel like they wanted me here, and that's why I'm here. Because, like I said, I just believe in me.
Did you talk with Kari before signing you here? And if so, what did he tell you about coming here?
I didn't actually talk to him before, but I got to talk to him afterwards. You know, we're both excited. Just kind of like a reunion. It's cool how everything comes full circle, and now we're back on the same team.
What were the emotions of this week? Kind of like just, you know, waiting to hear if the deal is done and then kind of getting ready to come to a new life in a new city?
Yeah, definitely a roller coaster for sure. You know, a little stressful, but, you know, like the easiest way to say is a roller coaster, but everything happens for a reason, and I'm just happy, grateful, you know, to be on a team that wants me.
What's the most stressful part?
Not knowing what city you're going to, not knowing who's going to be around you, not knowing just the unknown, simple as that. So that, yeah, that's easily the most stressful part.
DJ Moore sounded a little taken aback by the real estate prices up here. Have you gotten that far already?
I haven't gotten that far down the road yet, but I have heard a little bit of that. But I'm also just happy that I have people around me in this facility that's already helping me, guiding me, you know, where to go. So, yeah.
What were some of the characteristics that led the Bears to become an attractive option for you?
Me wanting to play for a team that sees the value in me and to help them win. Obviously, you know, it's a business. So, you know, the relationship, the talks, the obviously, the like investment part all has to shape up together. So that to where, you know, we all can feel comfortable. And, but these guys, you know, has done a lot of good things historically, and when you look on the wall and behind me, I mean, come on now. I mean, you get you get a rush, being a defensive player coming here. I mean, this is always the league nowadays, and now that's where you walk in and you see, no disrespect to Gale Sears, but like you see Urlacher and Mike Singletary and a lot of defensive guys up here, and it's just like, okay, this is where I want to be.
What does that mean to you playing in a city that reveres defense the way Chicago does?
Finally you could appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a quarterback-driven league. I mean, everyone wants to see touchdowns and passes, and obviously that's that's what sells tickets, but, everybody wants to hold up the Lombardi, and there's only, there's one side of the ball that is very pivotal, and that's defense. So, just knowing that to where, that's what they're known for here, why not?
Why were you able to have like a quote breakout year last year in terms of the sack numbers?
A great question. Spiritually, my Lord and Savior. This is a football league that is hard to sustain. Okay, so every year there's a draft, every year there's a free agency, and then obviously it's a violent sport. So practice, weightlifting, the game, and then life. When you get in the car, when you're walking on ice, you can hurt yourself. So to where every year was a new task to learn something new and challenge myself, and deny myself to get to where I'm at. So with that, it takes faith. So if you take one step, that leads to 2, 3, and 4. Then you get to get to walking and everything. So going into year 6 was not only a step of faith, but everything that I learned and failed from the years prior made me to that point. From position work, footwork, more stretching, being a better pro, learning from everyone around me, from Von Miller, Dominic Pecco, Jarrell Casey, Malik Collins. So many different pros that showed you how to practice. Jeffrey Simmons, showing how you approach the game. No, not yet. Not yet.
You had mentioned the Chicago appreciates defense, but do you appreciate anything about Justin Fields coming into this? And who's playing quarterback have anything to do, when you sat down and looked at teams? You consider who the quarterback might be, because you need one of those to win too.
Excuse my French, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. One thing about it, y'all gonna get me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna sit here and sugarcoat. I'm a very honest guy. To get to where I'm at, to answer your question earlier, to have success, I've had some tough conversations. I've had some coaches tell me that I'm just a role player. I'm not this. So for me to believe in myself and to get to where I'm at, it just didn't happen by accident. There's a higher spirit. And so to where, to answer your question for the long, I had some humbling years. You guys know what the Broncos went through, before they got Russell Wilson, and to where the Texans and everything still trying to figure out their situation. And unfortunately, Tannehill couldn't stay healthy last year, and prayers go for him. So, having a young, talented quarterback who I watched in college and then got to know him, and him kind of telling me about myself in the weight room earlier, I'm like, okay. But that shows his professionalism. And then to where I've been watching a lot of Bears games this past week, trying to understand not just the defense, but the whole team dynamic, special teams. Like how guys are, performing in the heat of the moments and everything, Justin Fields is definitely, someone that I can't wait to go to battle with. Got his number and told him that we're going to have a lot of time spending time together,
To the point of your role on the team, you joined a defense that was led in sacks last year by that rookie strong safety.
Correct.
You are, to this point in the offseason, the big addition to that defensive line. Does that come along with any pressure, any added pressure to be productive in that spot?
That's a great question. So here's the thing is, if you think there's pressure now, imagine being a second-round pick. Von Miller, Shane Ray, Shaq Barrett, Derek Wolfe, Adam Gosses, Dominic Pecco. All right? Next year they bring in Clint McDonald. Eventually they draft Draymond Jones. And past don't matter, but you have to understand what someone's been through to understand that mindset. All right, Houston, Texas, you got Charles Omenihu, Malik Collins, Jonathan Grenard, Jacob Martin. They drafted Roy Lopez, who wound up starting in his rookie year. And you got a guy like me. Jordan Jenkins, who had success with the New York Jets. You think that wasn't pressure? Last year, you had the Tennessee Titans, who led the NFL in sacks. Danico Autry, Harold Landry, Jeffrey Simmons, Bud Dupree. Ola, forgot his last name. I literally walked in the meeting like, why do y'all need me? You know what I'm saying? So there's no pressure. All I can do is control what I can control.
DeMarcus, you said that you believed in yourself when coaches have had tough conversations with you. How would you describe the type of player you are, that you believe you are?
Y'all see after the season. I know what I am. You see after the season.
DeMarcus, you said Justin told you about yourself in the weight room?
Yeah, man, he was like, man, I see you went to Florida State. And some guys, I'm like, okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, just a small information. He don't have to know my whole biography. He don't know something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where are you from? Nice, all right, now I know that about you, you know what I'm saying? So that's where I can ask you what I want, you know? That small little, those small little, you know, small gestures take you a long way, no matter where you go.
So, a little bit of an extension of that. This isn't the first time you've changed teams.
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned along the way that will make this transition a little bit easier?
Oh, man, that's a good question right there. Control what you control. First thing is you gotta walk by faith. Control what you control. And you gotta ask those tough questions. I mean, a lot of as you know, as men, male, masculine, whatever, toxic. Being men, you know, we tend to be stubborn and feel like we know all the answers. So I feel like we have too egotistic to like reach out, even if it's someone that we're not even comfortable talking to. But that's when, you know, that's called growth and being a man. A lot of guys are just guys. There's very few men in this world. You know what I'm saying? So to put their pride to the side, talk to someone and ask, you know, how's your brain? Why did you fall here? How did you have success here? Well, what happened right here? You know, I've asked some tough questions, reached out to some people who, like, you know, like, but at the end of the day, you know, they were like, hey, I appreciate you actually, you know, reaching out to me, because not many people do.
DeMarcus, for your breakout season to come 6 years into your NFL career, did it feel like finally, like I got to the point where I wanted to get to? Like how good did that feel just to be able to hit that peak show that you are the type of player that you want to be and have a long career ahead of you?
That's this thing that I got through. I just got to reading this book. Just finished it last night. Breakthrough Crow by Tim or Tom McCarthy, and it's something that called delayed gratification. So where when you have instant gratification, I mean, you know, you're very, you know, excited for the reward or the result, but I mean, it won't hit as long. Into where every year, where I was, you know, asking the gentleman earlier about having this breakout year. It was just so many things I had to learn about the body. I'm a hard worker. I don't believe no one works harder than me. And I learned that from my dad. But to where I've learned that just because you put in so many hours, so, I mean, you're a journalist, so say if you started your morning at 7 a.m., you're done at 3. But then to where you're putting all crazy hours in from 7 to 3, but not really getting the result you want. Well, then you have to take a look at yourself. Well, how do you have effective actions throughout the day to get you to a better result? And that's what I had to learn.
We'll do two more, guys. When you watch the film of the Bears defense, how can you see or how can you tell that you'll be as effective in that defense as you were with the Titans?
Well, obviously, you know, it takes two things. It's not just me. It's coaches putting the players in a good situation to make plays, and then me going out there and trusting the game plan and my skills. So I think those two has to come hand in hand, and then we'll see how that goes.
Is that kind of an unknown when you're a free agent moving teams? I mean,
Oh no, you know, I'm just more of a humble mindset to where, you know, I can't go out there and just say, oh, this is what's going to happen. I know what I'm very confident in, and you know, everyone has to play together. You know, everyone has to get together. Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you all.
Travis, welcome to Chicago. Curious, as you went into the free agency process, what was attractive about this opportunity for you?
Hey, I mean, I just want to start off by saying, you know, I'm glad to be here, and I think it's going to be a really good 2 years. But I think the number one thing for me is just being somewhere that wanted me. So I think coming here is going to be a real good decision for me and my family and everyone that has to do with it.
When you look at the Bears running back room and kind of how they go by committee, how do you think that you can fit into that mix?
I'm just gonna try and step in, just be the guy that they want me to be. I would say I'm one of the best pass protecting backs in the league, and I'm gonna make sure I stay true to that. But yeah, I'm just gonna come in here and do what I need to do. Just hopefully be someone that people could depend on.
Some players are reluctant when they come into the league to play on special teams. How much did you embrace that? How much pride do you take in what you do on special teams?
I'm not sure why anyone would be reluctant to it. It's one of the funnest things in football. Just go out there and get to be free, be yourself on special teams. So, I love it.
What different roles have you had on special teams?
Been the personal protector on punt, kick return. I've been on the front line, the mid line, and returning, of course. Kickoff, move me around wherever. Same thing with punt return. I'm ready to be whoever you need me to be.
You said you were excited the Bears wanted you here. What was it in those conversations between the Bears and your camp that they said they wanted you to bring to the team?
Just talking with my agent, hearing what he had to say, I think I could really trust them, and just hearing what he had to say, it was miles above anyone else.
What did your agent relay? What was he hearing?
Yeah,
What made you trust them and all that?
I just want to, I'm going to lay it on that.
Do you anticipate a bigger role here than you had?
I'm sorry?
Do you anticipate a bigger role here or the same?
I'm ready to be whatever they need me to be honest. If that's a bigger role, then I'll accept that. And if it's a very minute role, it's going to be what it is, but I'm going to give my all, whatever.
What kind of research have you done on the Bears' offensive style, and I guess what are your impressions so far?
I know they like to run. I know they like to. It's going to be a dynamic offense. Just seeing the players that we got coming in, seeing the players that were already here. I think it's going to be a really good surprise to the whole league.
Do you know anything about Khalil Herbert, or have you spoken to Khalil?
I actually haven't spoke to him, but I saw that he's from South Florida like me, so I think we're going to get along real well.
As you mentioned, pass pro. What in particular do you pride yourself on in that aspect of the game?
Just being the best. I'm gonna make sure I do that.
Yeah, when did that become a focal point for you?
And a strength for you in your journey?
No, I always liked to block when I was in Little League and everything, but I think I really took a step forward in that in college with Coach Thomas Brown. He helped me out a lot with that.
When you look at where the Bears roster is in terms of building, there's still a lot of questions out there, but what have you been told in terms of what they want this team to be?
What they want this team to be is what you want any team to be, a championship caliber team, and that's what I'm going to come in here. I'm going to try and help out with, and I know everyone that they got here, everyone that they got coming in, we're all going to give it our all.
They're coming off of a tough season. You were in a place that you guys made the playoffs. To be part of something that's still kind of at the ground floor, how do you view that as a challenge and wanting to be part of that?
I just want to be somewhere where they're going to compete, and I know them boys are going to compete, so I don't care if we're at the bottom, I don't care if we're at the top. As long as my brothers fight with me, that's all I care about.
What was it like last year in Seattle? I know the expectation maybe from the outside was that this was a team that was in a rebuild, but then to have Geno play as well as he did, lead you guys to the playoffs, what was that run like for you personally?
It's all you could ask for. It's just what comes to football, we're not going to sit there and think that we're going to do bad or anything during the season, so we got to what we expected.
Pete Carroll's coach loves to run the football. Was it important to you to go to another team that likes to run the football as well?
I want to do what the team want to do, I don't really care. As long as I'm able to show what I could do, that's cool.
PJ, what have the last 48 hours been like for you?
It's been crazy, but just knowing that this opportunity presented itself in front of me is just awesome. It's been a crazy 48 hours with my wife over here, just trying to figure out what's the next step for us and see what's next.
DJ was telling us a little bit about your relationship together.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you coming to Chicago along with him?
It's great, we actually kind of neighbors in Charlotte, so it's a good feeling knowing that he's gonna be here. I know what he brings to the table, and he's know what I'm gonna bring to the table as well. Just to be there, support each other, and just get things rolling. Even get the guys around us to just do things that we feel is the great thing around here, and want to have that team atmosphere.
What were the things that you brought to the table for you that maybe we don't see,
Just as a player, it's good to be able to get the football into a guy's hands that can make a lot of plays and do special things with the football. I think he's one of those guys that when he get the ball in his hands, he's one of the guys that he's a receiver but can do running back things with the football in his hands. So that ability there alone is awesome. It's fun to play. It's fun to go out there and play besides. So the excitement and the joy that I had playing with him in Carolina is definitely going to be here as well.
You've had a unique career path. What led you to being attracted to signing with the Bears?
Just the opportunity. Me coming here, just getting the opportunity to compete for the backup job is going to be great. Just coming here and just try to help the guys in the quarterback room as much as possible, and just try to be a leader of men, and just continue to grow as a player, and get the guys around me to grow as well.
You had that big play against Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right. I think it kind of showed off both of you guys' ability to be dynamic in that play. What kind of happened in that play? What gave you the confidence to just roll out and let that thing fly? How long was that in the air?
About 67, I believe. So, just the ability I know that DJ got. I know he got the ability to go out there and track the football down. And, for me, it was just to go out there and give him a chance. And I know if I put the ball in front of him, it's going to be tough for the defender to keep up with him as well. So just give him a chance to go out there and make a play on it, keep the ball out in front. And as you can see, his ability to just break through arms that's actually pulling them down and to catch the football is pretty impressive. And that right there alone is just goes to show you what type of player you're getting.
That's a guy that's hard to overthrow. You're talking about putting the ball 67 yards in the air. How confident are you in your arm strength to hit that rolling left like that?
Yeah, I'm very confident. Just that's what this offseason for, just continuing to grow and continuing to build and get all these different movements of my body that I'm able to just, turn and make those throws like that. And, it's just me, it's just having the confidence and going out there and knowing I can do it, You don't know what you can do until you try it. So for me, that's the mindset I'm a carry, and that's the mindset I play with.
What do you see in DJ's ability to separate? What allows him to have that strength?
I think his strength, his speed, and he's smart. That's one thing I can say about him. Like when I was in Carolina with him, a lot of the times watching, he was out the huddle before the play was finally finished. So that just goes to show you what type of player you get and what type of player you're around. When you get a guy like that, when you 2 words into the huddle, he's already breaking the huddle. There's not a lot of guys like that, and he's one of them. So for us, it was great. And you got a smart guy out there that know where to line up, know the routes, can help the guys around him. That ability there is just second to none. And his talent speaks for itself. But the little things like being smart and knowing where to be, knowing coverages, knowing how to break down zones, I think that's something that I'm very impressed with when I first got there at Carolina as well.
During your career journey, what have you seen in quarterbacks' rooms that make those function to the level that you want to see them function at?
Can you repeat the first question?
With all the experience you've had in different quarterbacks,
Yeah.
what makes those function at a high level? Your experience.
To be honest, just the consistency. That's the toughest part in this business, in this league. It's just being consistent week in and week out. But when you got a mindset of just wanting to be consistent, things will fall in place. They'll fall in line for what you're aiming for, and that consistency is huge. And that's just something I always tell myself, and I'm always going to relay to other people as well. That we got to be consistent. Every day matters. Every snap matters. You don't get an opportunity to just take plays off because you don't know when that play is going to happen. So for us, it's just let's stay consistent. Let's keep chopping. Let's just do what we do and stay consistent with what we're doing.
Justin can do some things with his legs that not a lot of people
Yeah.
can do. How will you be able to run the offense similar to the way he runs it?
Yeah.
Knowing that there are some differences between the two.
Yeah, I think after watching him last year, man, I was highly impressed and with the ability that he has. And I watched him in college. I've watched him, and so I've always been excited for him and a fan of his. So for me, it's just to go out there and to see what he does and try to emulate my game to his as well. Just so things ain't got to change when I'm out there. So for me, it's just to go out there if I gotta, take a role and do what I have to do to help this team at any way possible, I gotta do it. So if it's running the football, passing, it is what it is. I feel like I can do it all as well.
You talked about competing for the number 2 spot. What do you feel is important to bring to that role?
Yeah, I think leadership. I think that's huge. A lot of people. I played like my first years in Indy. I was around Jacoby and Jacoby Brissett, and to see the leadership that he had when he was there with Andrew. So it was just seeing how things worked in the building and seeing how he was as a leader towards the team, how they gravitated to him, even though he was in a backup role, just showed me how to also be a leader towards these guys around me. Even though I'm in a backup role, you still need that guy that can talk to the receivers when the starters is, he's having a conversation. You got to be able to communicate with the receivers as well.
What were your impressions of Matt Eberflus when you overlapped with him in Indy?
Oh, Coach Flus, man, it was awesome. I knew what he was. I knew what he was as a coach. I just knew he can go out there and do great things as a coach, and just the opportunity that he was giving guys and players, and he put his players in the right position, and he knew what to do with his players, and that's something I always admire in coaches that know what to do with their guys, because there's a lot of coaches that go out there and don't know what to do with their guys and put them in bad positions. But I think since I've known Coach Flus, he's always put his players in the right position, and that's something that's a lot of players love.
I'm guessing while you were there,
Part of your role was going up against.
Yeah.
trying to set the defense up every week.
Yep.
What was your
Impressions of going up against this scheme and.
Yeah. I thought it was phenomenal, and as long as you got the right players in there that can play the scheme, I think it's gonna be great. And I think this team definitely have the scheme, the right guys in this building to get that job done. And I'm looking at free agency is big here, and the guys that they bring in, I think fits his system, and I think you'll see a lot of great things with this defensive group that he got, and you'll see a lot of special things.
When you played with the Panthers, what was your reaction Friday before you signed with the Bears when
Yeah.
the Bears and Panthers made the deal for the top pick?
I was shocked. I ain't expect it. It caught me by surprise. I text DJ as soon as it happened, like, what's going on? And he was like, bro, I couldn't even tell you. But it was a surprise. But me knowing him and knowing what just happened, I think that was the best thing for the team. It was tough to see, knowing that you're losing your guy on offense. So I'm assuming they just felt like they was going a different direction, and I think they was doing what's best for them.
What was the surprise that DJ was in the deal?
Yeah, for sure.
When somebody trades for somebody presumably who plays your position, how do you take that? Did you sit there and go, what does this mean for me?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I was last year, not to bring up old things, but I was the fourth quarterback going into the camp, and things happen, and when you get your opportunity, you make the best of it. So for me, it's always next man up. It don't really matter what's going on. I really wasn't worried about anyone being drafted there or anything like that. I can't control that. That's out of my control. So for me, it was just be with my feet off. If it was gonna be in Carolina, it was gonna be there. But it's here, so I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna be present here.